Okay, I'm going to show you today how to put together the multiples. I've taken the pictures that I want to use and put them in a folder called multiples right here. So I'm going to go into Bridge and on desktop, open the multiples, which are right here. And I've got these. You'll see that the background doesn't change in these. Background doesn't move. It might get a little bit lighter or darker, but it doesn't move. Okay, so I'm going to start with the one on the left. I like to start from left to right or right to left. It doesn't matter, but that's what I'm going to start with. So I'm just going to click twice on this, open it, and then I'm going to save it as the assignment name. So File, Save As, on my computer. Desktop, I'm going to save it as a Photoshop file so we can keep all the layers. And I'm going to put it directly on my desktop so it's easier to find. So Desktop, and I'm going to call it Multiples. And say save. Now I'm going to go back to Bridge and get the next picture. Okay, so I'm going to pick me, my shadow. There's no reflection on the ground. I'm using the lasso tool to do this. And you can see I'm not being super neat about it. I do want to get all of my shadow. Then I'm going to say Edit, Copy, File, Close, Edit, Paste. And you'll see that it doesn't come in the right spot. You have to move it. So I'm going to the crisscross or the move tool to move this into place. And it goes right here. I'm going to zoom in. I'm doing Command plus to zoom in so I can get this to line up exactly. So this goes over here, right here. I'm going to go back over this way. It's a little bit dark overall, so I'm going to go to Image Adjustment, Brightness and Contrast and lighten it up a little bit. And that looks pretty good. Now I need to erase what I've got here. So I'm going to turn this eye off. This is, I'm going to rename this hand sanitizer so I know what layer is what. It's going to be easier to modify this way. Turn this off. Go back here to the picture with me. I want all of me showing. So I'm going to use the Quick Select tool and select me. And the chair, because the chair is in front. I'm going to the plus to reselect this. Okay, that doesn't matter so much. So let's get rid of that if we can. So I'm just clicking a little bit at a time. Now, when I turn this layer back on, if I go to this layer and make it light green, that means I'm on this layer. Oh, I need to erase some of my hair too. We'll do that in a second. I'm going to go to the eraser tool, which is right here, and I can make it super big. Right bracket makes it bigger. And I'm going to erase this picture where I selected this. This is cool. You don't have to be neat about it. If I try to erase out here, nothing's going to happen. Okay, then I'm going to do Command D to get rid of that. I'm just going to erase a little bit up here. I have to make sure that the shadow stays in there. And then I'm going to go down to make sure that's still okay. It's still a little wonky up here. I'm going to make the tool a little bit smaller and kind of get in on that corner. Okay, so I've got the shadow of me. I've got the shadows of me in the front. If that looks too much, you can just get rid of that whole shadow. So I'm going to do the Quick Select tool again. Select back here and just delete that. And then Command D to get rid of that. And I'm going to save after every time I put something in. So File, Save. Okay. Zoom back out. Going for the next person. Go back to Bridge. Get the next picture. Double click to open. I am going to use the lasso tool. There's a shadow on the ground. I don't know if it's mine, so I'm going to pick a little wide on this one. And then Edit, Copy, File, Close, Edit, Paste, and then move it into place with the crisscross. So the crisscross, this goes right here. It's a little dark, so I'm going to lighten it up a little bit. Image adjustment, brightness and contrast. I might not be able to get this exactly right, but I can give it closer. That's pretty close. Now I'm going to zoom in, Command plus, to check my lineup. You can see one of the problems with shooting on autofocus is if your subject's not right in the center of the composition, you are not going to get picture in focus, and that's what happened with this one. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. Let's zoom back out. Okay, so it's a little dark down here, a little light up here, but I'm going to leave it. If you wanted to, you could go in and select this area. So with the quick select, because this is dark next to light, it should select pretty easily. I can select all of that back part and just hit delete, and then that will look more realistic. Okay, I am saving it again. I've got 3 people in here. Going back to bridge, going to the next picture. Okay, this one I've just got me in the door. This should be pretty easy. Edit, copy, file, close, edit, paste. I'm going to move this into the doorway, and it's lining up with the top of that computer, so that's a good gauge for me. And that's the corner of the computer. You can see it's jiggling a lot, so I need to zoom in. If I zoom in, I can move it in smaller increments to get this to line up better. Okay, so now I'm going to move this down a little bit. That looks pretty good. I'm pretty dark over here, so I'm going to try the erase tool again. See if I can get rid of that, because that's awfully dark. Let's try the quick select first to see if I can quick select me. I can't because I'm too dark all over, so I'm going to have to do the manually erasing on this one. So erase. I'm going to come in and just come along here and erase this. I'll come up here. I can be a little bit more sloppy around up here. And then I need to zoom in, Command plus, and make this tool smaller, left bracket, to erase in smaller increments. Okay, and then I think I need to erase a little up here around my hair. Okay, I think that should be good. I'm going to zoom back out and see how it looks. That works for me. And guess what I'm going to do? Save it again. Just do File, Save. It's saving all the layers in case you need to come back and fix anything in case you don't get 100%. Okay, go back to bridge, get the last one. Okay, so this one, I've got a shadow under the desk I need to grab. So I'm going to grab her on the computer. And this is my shadow, so I'm going to grab that. And then edit copy. You can also do Command C. File close. You can do Command W. And edit paste, you can do Command V. And it's right here. Okay, and I actually accidentally copied 2, so let me get rid of one of those. Okay, now I'm going to go to the Move tool, move this into place. It goes right here, roughly. I'm looking at the legs of the chairs. I need to zoom in a lot to get those lined up. So I'm going to go over and back down. Slide this over so it lines up. That looks pretty good. Those look pretty good. This is off just a little bit. That's better. And then go back up here. And I need to erase around me so this me can show up. So I'm going to save it again. And then I just need to erase around me. So I'm going to try the quick select tool, which works when there's light next to dark. And there is light next to dark here. So I am going to do that. And I am going to, let's do this. Try it again. Okay, so I don't need all this erased, so I'm going to come back in now with the opposite part of the tool and get rid of some of this. And delete this. And it looks like I need to get rid of a little bit more, and it left some residue, so I'm just going to erase around the rest. So here's the erase tool. And erase this, and erase everything above my head so this shows up. Okay, and this looks a little wonky because it's white. I don't want that to be white, so I'm going to erase this. Get that little knob, zoom back out. Okay, this looks pretty good. I'm not crazy about this dark patch right here. Right, let me get the mouse right here. So I'm going to save this again. Save a lot, especially if somebody trips over your cord or you turn your computer and the cord unplugs. And I'm going to erase this part right here. So I need to see what layer that's on. So I'm going to click. It's on that layer, so I need to turn that layer on so it turns light gray. And then use the eraser tool. I can make it a little bigger with the right bracket and just come in here and get rid of that part that looks funky. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out. There's my composition. I'm going to save it again. You want to save it as a Photoshop document, PSD, because you want all these layers in case you need to fix something, or if you need to replace something because you missed a shadow or something like that. And then I'm going to go to image size. Right now it's huge, so I'm going to make the biggest size 10 and the resolution 200. And if you can zoom back in, you're still going to have great resolution on this one. It's just it was gigantic before because I shot on JPEG large. So that is good to go. So now I'm going to save it because I made it smaller. And then I'm going to save it as a PDF to turn in. Save as, save on your computer, save it on my desktop. I'm going to change it to a PDF, save, okay, save, yes. I'm going to minimize this with the yellow dot, close this out, and I'm going to look on here to make sure I can open it. It's the PDF file I want to check. Click twice on it. And there it is, and it's ready to turn in. So I'm going to quit this, and that's ready to turn in. That's how you create the multiple.